Hello everyone, today we are going to do a quick disassembly of Bosch impact wrench. I don't know how old is it. The date is gone. I think from the abuse and use. This unit is well used for a very long time. We are going to test how it works before. We'll see how it looks inside. It definitely needs cleaning, and it will need like re-greasing and some work inside and outside. Off camera I will clean everything with ultrasonic, and I will paint the front. This tool, I think it came out almost 10 years ago, and I think it's brushed motor. It's brushed and it's pretty heavy, but I think it's a very good tool. At least I tried it and it works. So let's see how it. So there is some sound in the motor, but the sound is not that it's broken. I think there's some debris went inside, and it just sometimes makes some sound. At least this is what was in the auction, and that it makes some sound, so it's junk. I think it's abused and it's well used, but I don't think it's a junk. I tried to remove some bolts on a tractor few days ago, and it worked fine. I don't know if it's 100% or not, but I guess it's good enough for me and for my purposes. This is, for me, it's a type of tool that it's better to have than not have an issue. I'll have to change some stream. I think the bitrate is too low. Wait a second. Now it should be fine. Let's see. Okay, now we have a good bitrate. It was set to too low. Okay, so let's do it. To disassemble, we'll use like a small Panasonic impact driver. I have like attachment for the small bits. I think it works. Works enough. This is like very typical for Japanese in Japan to use this type of tools for like installation service. It's like super popular. Mostly I guess Makita. I personally like this one more than Makita because they have better lamp, and the LED on this unit is better than Makita. Plus they have very nice LED lamp for the same battery. The downside of the Panasonic is that I didn't see any replacement batteries, only you can buy the original ones. And with Makita you can buy a replacement from other manufacturers. Okay, let's try to open it and see how it goes. I already opened it before, like to see if it's broken or not, but I didn't do anything else. It's pretty heavy tool. I think this is the heaviest Bosch tool I own by far. Like, it's heavier than circular saw or big angle grinder. Come on. Like, I think what's inside we'll be able to see is how tool looks like after at least, I think, 6 years of use, maybe less, maybe 5, or like really heavy abuse for a short time. But this is what happens. So I'll turn on the light. We'll get the top light so we can see more. Wait a second. Okay. So here, so this inside is supposed to be a grease, and it smells like used grease, but I don't want to touch it now because I don't want to get dirty. But you can see it's like it's a lot of small particles inside it. So basically it's a grease, but it's also an abrasive, so it will damage the tool. That's why it's important when you have impact wrenches or any tools that need constant lubrication for work. They don't have bearings. Like most drills, they don't need much service. They have the gearbox, but they do not work as heavy as the impacts. So I would recommend every 1-2 years, maybe, depending how much you use it, to just open it, clean it, put a new grease, and then you will have much less issues with the tool. Yeah, so all of the grease is just, yeah, it doesn't look good. But so this is the anvil, am I right? And this one is the hammer. Or maybe the opposite. Like, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Wait a second, I need some paper to put it on. It can be this one, because it's going to be dirty. Okay, so this is the whole set. Yeah, the bearing is still good. Oh, that's a good news. So in front we have bushing. So this one is a bushing, and I'm not going to replace it, or even if it's a little bit worn out. But in general, the grease should be clean, so the bushing can stay fairly not used. Like it needs the lubrication for protection from wear. In here we can use, you can see it's like a lot of debris. Like this stuff here is like sandpaper basically. Yeah, it's sand, but the bearing is still good. It's pretty big bearing, open bearing, so it should be packed with grease like as much as we can. Too much grease is also not good because it will slow down the hammer, and it might make it run hotter than the engine. So you always have to keep in mind that there is always a balance of how much you should use it. Okay, so let's see how the gears look like. Like there's no chipped gears, or I'll be honest with you, those two are fine. The third one also No, it's a dirt. So all of the connection with the motor is fine. The bearing seems to be fine. The hammer is working correctly. So let's say that there's nothing to fix about this, except of this. It's some of the part like it's smooth, but in some places there is a little bit of like dust or like the sand or something, right? It's normal. It's like those things. They'll always get some. They'll always get some dirt inside, right? But to be honest, I'm surprised how well it looks, because I'm sorry, I'm looking like this because I have to get fairly close to it. But as you can see, the shaft from the motor, it's pretty good condition. It's like it's not cut, so I don't think there will be any issue with like lost power or some sounds that are coming from the front of the tool. So the tool, the part of the tool that is working for hammering, I think it's fine. And the planetary gear is also fine. There's no chip, no use. Yeah, it really needs new grease, basically, right? And from outside it looked like a little bit, you know, like not enough love, but yeah. The one thing that interesting about Bosch tools is that they have the tension on the battery. So even if this tool has a lot of vibration, the battery will still be connected, because when you connect it, it's like spring tensioned. Other tools like Makita, they do not. I didn't see it. Like they do not do it. I've seen some, I think, Flex in USA in some videos that I think they have it, but for example, Makita does not do it. At least in maybe there are some exceptions, but in general, this is a very good idea. And every Bosch tool have it, except of, I think, lamp, like LED lamps, they don't have it. Yeah. There is some small like sound, like squeaky sound at the end, and maybe that's the bearing, because in the back it'll have a bearing in the back. And I think I don't think it's seeing how this looks, I believe that the bearing will be fine too. It will need some oiling or greasing, and it will be perfectly fine. The thing I like about tools like this, that they're pretty good quality from the start. It's like, yeah, you can buy them like bad condition, but if they work when you buy them and they don't have like some serious issue or lost power, yeah, you can clean them up, re-grease them. Maybe sometimes you have to do some small fixes, like if the plastic is cracked, you can use some plastic welding or JB weld or some like epoxy and just fix it. And you can have like really good tools for like DIY or small like shop, like if you work on a farm, or you just, yeah, you don't need to spend like a lot of money for new stuff. It's just makes more sense this way, especially like this tool where I live. It's hard to say in US dollars, but it's around, I think now with like 500 USD, new one, with the basic like set, and like the set with 2 battery and like nice box. Like I got this one with the nice box, like the L box, like for system box that they click in. They can cost up to like, I think now it's like 750 US dollars with exchange. So if I get this one for like $50 and fix it up and it works, it makes sense. So and it's good for the environment. Like I think fixing stuff and reusing Yeah, I think that's the way to go about our environment. So let's try to open it up. Oh, now we have a problem. That's what the size. T10. In a long T10. Oh, maybe not. Maybe it will work. Oh, this one's deep. This one will be deep too. Let's hope that all the screws are the same size. I hate it when they do like MacBooks, like you have 3 different screws or more. Let's see what we got. I think it will be the same. Okay, all the screws are the same, and now we can try to open it. Okay, so something happened here, but what it is? So inside here is some discoloration, but the molding itself looked good. I'm not the AVE to comment on quality of the molding. I guess I will leave it that to more professional people. We can get out the screws too. So I won't comment on that. I think it's good enough. I think it stood the test of the time. Like this tool was abused. So yeah, let's see what we have here. And it looks like it was serviced. Reiva Yon. So it will be 2 years ago. No, last year. So last year they replaced the switch. Oh, that's a good news for me. I will. Yep, that's perfect.